What's up, guys? Wanted to make a video here of the demolding of a red Power Ranger helmet that I have. This is a mold that I made out of silicone caulking, so I just wanted to show you guys. This is the second copy that I've made. If you see my Iron Man Part 12 video, the helmet build videos, I showed at the end a Red Ranger helmet that I was doing a repaint on for a customer. So I ended up doing quite a bit of extra work on that customer's helmet, with as far as the body work and reshaping. So I wanted to make a mold and just make a copy so I could have one for myself, since I put so much work into it, and basically did it for free. Just charged the guy pretty much for materials and shipping. So anyways, I pulled the first cast and I was really surprised at how well it came out, being that the mold was made out of silicone caulking. So I wanted to show you guys this second one. Hopefully it's as good or better than the first one. So I'm just about to pull these screws out here and we'll see what we got. I made this mold over the course of about 2 days. The silicone part of the mold making took a day, and then the making of the actual hard fiberglass shell here took another day, the two halves here that go together. So I was really surprised at the first one how well it came out. I didn't think that it was going to go that great, being that it's caulking. It's not mold making grade professional silicone. It's literally bathtub caulking. I thinned it out with some naphtha. That's this right here. Sorry I didn't make a video on all that. I just really didn't have time. I had to get that customer's helmet painted and get it back to him, and I had to make this mold rather quick, so I didn't have time really to make a video on that. But anyways, I thinned it out with naphtha. That allows you to basically brush the silicone on so that you can make the mold. And the detail that you can actually capture with silicone caulking is pretty amazing. Before I made the mold of the original helmet, I actually sanded it down with some 220 grit paper, and on the first copy of this that I made, you can even see the sanding lines from the 220 grit really fine sandpaper. It probably won't show up on camera, but it captured the slightest little details, so I'm really happy with it. So I'm just going to pull these two halves apart. There might be a little bit of overflowed plastic holding them together, so I may have to pry on it a little bit here. I'll just use my Dremel chuck key. It's a little bit sloppy here with the resin. So pull this apart and we'll see what we have. The first one I made, it was a little bit on the thicker side. I used just a bit too much resin. I cast this in Smooth Cast 65D, and I used, I think, like 6 cups of resin. So I used a little bit less on this one, about 5 cups, and I did it in smaller batches. So that it wouldn't be so thick in certain areas and thin in others. The first one was kind of like a trial and error thing. That was my learning curve helmet. So this right here, what you're seeing, is I just put some plastic wrap inside the mold, because I have a seam line going down here on the back. It's basically like a little squiggly seam, so I just didn't want it to lock up inside the mother mold. And if that plastic would have touched that, it would have. This resin won't stick to the silicone. Okay, you can see I can just peel that off of there. But it's going to take me just a minute to peel this off so that I can split these halves. So let me do that and I'll bring the video back. Pull the extra plastic off there. You can see my seam line. Basically what had happened was, because these two halves of silicone weren't locked together tight, some of the resin seeped through the seam and came out to the outside of the silicone jacket mold here. So I've basically just been using my Dremel a little bit, and mostly with my fingers though, just breaking that extra plastic off. So now it's not locked up in there, and we can just start peeling this silicone off. I did use some mold release on this, Ease Release 200, before I cast this first one, or excuse me, the second one. So it should come off of there pretty easy, and there is going to be some flashing, meaning this seam line. There's still some work to be done to this helmet, so that'll all need trimmed off. Obviously the neck down here will need all trimmed off, but this basically should just peel off like a glove now. I don't know if it'll show up on the video. I think so, yeah. Up here I used some cheesecloth in my different layers of silicone here. I knew I was going to have my seam end somewhere around up in here, so I laminated layers of cheesecloth into the silicone as I was doing the different layers, so that when I made my cut line, where I stopped, which is right here, wouldn't progress any further. That cheesecloth keeps the silicone from tearing any more than I want it to. So this basically just peels off like a glove now, if everything goes well. You can see on the inside of the mold here that I use different colors. Every layer of silicone that I did, which was 5 layers altogether, I alternated colors. That showed me where I was and where I needed to apply more silicone, so that I had roughly a uniform thickness. It's not exactly, you know, all the same thickness, but it's good enough just for this. So I'm basically just going to pull this off of here. Sorry if I get in the way of the camera here. It's kind of hard to work around it. And just going to carefully peel this out of here. It's not sticking to it at all. It's just the silicone mold is on there really tight. So just the way that this helmet is, the way that it sort of locks up in there. Okay. Just slowly, little by little. On the first one, it was hanging up a little bit in the mouth area up here in the deep undercuts. So I made sure I put a lot of mold release in that. This is my fishing line that I have going through, which was holding the mold in place. So peel this off very carefully out of the eyes here, the teeth. I really only wanted one pull out of this, one copy, so this being the second, I've already gotten what I need out of this mold, but I'm trying to save it, so I don't know. If I can get 50 out of it, I'll get 50. And there's the helmet. Feels pretty great, actually. Like I said, I used a little bit of extra mold release, so that helped up in these areas of the mouth here. I used less casting resin than I used on the first one, so this one's a bit lighter, yet it's still a nice thickness. It's nice and uniform now. The first one had really thick spots and really thin spots. I'll show you the first one actually here. This is the very first one that I made. Also had a big indentation in the top here. You probably can't see that, but there's a big dip here. I think I took it out of the mold a little bit too quick, and it sunk down in. So the second one is definitely a lot better. It's lighter, it's the same thickness roughly all throughout. The seam is smaller. It still will need filled, okay? We'll still need Bondo work back here. The whole thing will still need work here and there, but yeah, I'm going to trim this flashing off around the neck opening, and that's it. Perfect hollow helmet. exact replica of the one that I did a repaint on. And here's the first one. This one is like twice as heavy, so I used like 6 or 7 cups of resin in this one. There's spots in here that are probably, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch thick. But so I'll probably just get rid of this one. I don't know, maybe sell it for the cost of the resin or something, plus the shipping. You know, that was it's still a good helmet. It still can be worn, it still can be fixed up and all that. But yep. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. No, it wasn't too informative or anything, but and as far as this is good for yet another pull. I've heard of people getting up to 50 pulls out of a cheap silicone caulking mold, so see what happens. However long it lasts, it lasts. It only cost about maybe $25 to make the mold, so see what happens. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you probably on the Iron Man Part 13 video next, so stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching. Later.